What is the connection between supercompensation, structural adaptation, nutrient partitioning, and insulin signaling, metabolic routing, in relation to the body's repair and rebuild process after intense anaerobic training? In Part 16, we established that supercompensation, the structural adaptation phase, occurs within the estimated training-dependent 48 to 96-hour window following intense anaerobic training. But how does the body systematically sustain this metabolically expensive process? It is suggested that supercompensation may not occur without the support of key factors, specifically nutrient partitioning and metabolic routing happening simultaneously. You need the structural rebuild known as supercompensation and the nutrient delivery, routing via insulin, happening together for adaptation. To recap, after intense anaerobic training, the body goes through 3 linked phases, which are epoch, metabolic cleanup. The body clears oxygen debt and metabolic waste, such as lactate recycling, which involves glycogen restock. Additionally, glycogen restitution, energy refuel. Carbohydrates replenish muscle fuel stores from nutrient intake and absorption. And supercompensation, structural adaptation. The body adapts and grows beyond baseline. Sports sciences observe that supercompensation only happens if your body partitions nutrients wisely and insulin successfully routes amino acids to the right place, for instance, the damaged cells. Skip proper nutrition timing, and that structural rebuild may stall. Nutrient consumption triggers insulin release. Insulin then facilitates the transport and utilization of those nutrients, carbohydrates and protein, to where they are needed, facilitating the body's natural repair and growth process. So, once cellular energy security is re-established, the strategic introduction of carbohydrates triggers a highly specific biological response. Additionally, insulin has been observed to be anabolic in muscle, mainly by inhibiting protein breakdown, by enhancing the amino acid-induced protein synthesis, and by decreasing leucine breakdown, suggesting it being an important metabolic router during this phase. So what is nutrient partitioning and metabolic routing in terms of the body's natural processes? Nutrient partitioning, the metabolic process determining whether ingested nutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, fats, are directed toward energy use, storage, or tissue repair. Post-training, partitioning is optimized toward muscle repair and glycogen repletion. Metabolic routing, the physiological mechanism by which insulin directs circulating nutrients to specific tissues. Post-exercise, insulin routes amino acids preferentially to damaged muscle cells and glucose to glycogen synthesis, rather than fat storage. In this post-training environment, insulin ceases to act merely as a systemic storage hormone. Instead, it becomes the primary metabolic router. While mTOR provides the initiation spark for muscle protein synthesis, insulin provides the sustained logistical support, primarily by facilitating the transport of circulating essential amino acids directly into the damaged cellular fibers, and by creating the permissive hormonal environment in which that synthesis can continue. It is suggested that consuming appropriate nutrition within 30 to 90 minutes post-training to align nutrient intake with elevated insulin sensitivity, active glycogen repletion, mTOR activation for muscle protein synthesis would be an optimized approach. In healthy adults, this 30 to 90-minute window patches the supercompensation phase and optimizes nutrient partitioning metabolic routing. After 90 minutes, the window closes and nutrient uptake efficiency may drop significantly. Therefore, the body's natural insulin sensitivity mechanism matters. Diets that are high in carbohydrates tend to increase the sensitivity of insulin. The healthiest sources include complex carbohydrates because of their blunted effects on blood glucose. These options include unprocessed whole grains, vegetables, fruits, and legumes. 2 foundational factors determine holistic, natural insulin health: consistent physical activity and a nutritionally balanced diet. A diet needs to be nutritionally balanced, including the proper type and amount of carbohydrates. Holistically, Natural whole food complex carbohydrates align with these fundamental factors. Furthermore, and perhaps more critically, robust insulin signaling actively inhibits intracellular protein breakdown. By halting the catabolic degradation of existing tissue, insulin ensures that the biological net balance remains strictly geared toward ongoing structural adaptation. It shifts the cellular environment from neutral to strictly anabolic. Therefore, carbohydrate availability during this phase does not just restock energy, it actively locks the biological system into a prolonged state of repair. To summarize, intense anaerobic training triggers EPOC, then glycogen repletion and structural adaptation. The 30 to 90-minute nutrient window begins once training is complete. It is here that the apparently vital role of complex healthy carbohydrates may make a significant difference to the body's overall structural growth. Based on individual suitability and health status, subscribe for more focused segments and go deeper with holistic, high-performance health.